So, Earth is in the underworld, the human underworld, and it has been for millions of years, okay? Uh, the John Johann Kalaman came up with the Kalaman's matrix, okay, which shows exactly when, take a picture, day 7, the way they do it is day 1 through 7. Day 7 is when heaven is built, complete to completion. And on the seventh day of each level of consciousness, we learn everything about what that era taught us in consciousness. So let's just break it down here. The Mayan pyramids are in the shape that they're in because they were trying to tell us more about consciousness and creation, okay? The 9 underworlds. Okay, the national underworld is what we've been alive for as humans on planet Earth in our recorded time here, sir. Okay, each underworld brings us the most important lessons from that dynamic of the time acceleration. Okay, which is when we experience the fruition of that underworld, when the essence of the whole acceleration becomes apparent, like such as activations in consciousness, heavy intuition waves that align with astrological eras, clarity uploads. So, and what happened in the National, this is when this really evil bunch took over, okay? And they've been disguising themselves as the powerful people in each era. They were the Hyksos, the Canaanites, and they took over pharaonic control. And the reason why they were forced out is because they were pretending to be pharaohs. Okay, the same way that Donald Trump is pretending to be an American Christian president. He converted to Judaism. He's touched the Wailing Wall. He's part of Zionism. Like, he's done everything but admit it. And he's writing the laws for them. Okay, so now what the important thing to understand is that as you climb each one of these steps, there's an acceleration of time because you're getting closer to the end of the calendar. Okay, so in 2011, it was going as fast as it could possibly go. Accelerated our climb out of the national by 20 times in 1999. Okay? So this is where it is important to understand why time feels like it's getting faster and faster, because it is. Okay, the regional underworld is what's being constructed in our time period, okay? You take a picture of this. Hunters and gatherers do not control their habitat since they are part of it. So, what they're trying to say is that the people of this time period, the regional underworld construction, had a more balanced way of life than the modern human beings right now. Because modern human beings are radically separated from the powers of their environment, they've usually lost their spiritual powers, the powers that enable humans to work with nature, which is exactly they're trying to attack the pineal gland. Okay? They're trying to attack the pineal gland with glyphosate, fluoride, Wi-Fi, and all these other toxins, poisons, cigarettes, alcohol. They're all things that kill the body and destroy the pineal gland. Okay, so while this regional underworld is being built, we're experiencing the most rapid time acceleration we've ever known. Okay, it's important to understand that we're going through some crazy shit right now, but it's all for the purpose of educating us. Now, unfortunately, what this book is trying to tell you, and I mean this book right here, Barbara Hand Clow, you that you're not escaping the human underworld. Okay, planet Earth is a planet where species come all the time. It's not just one species. It's not just two species. It's a lot of different species. So understanding where you are in the underworld construction will give you a little bit more of an understanding on what you need to research, because the events of each one of these underworld constructions are really important. They happen to fall on when the astrological events, Saturn opposite Neptune, there's always a major world event. So astrologically significant as always, because what we should have been taught in public education is astrotheology, astronomy, all these things that teach you about what's going on inside the brain. But of course, we're under programming because they need human life force to get what they want from this planet and to build their weapons. If we continue sending our tax dollars to a regime, you should expect to be targeted for depopulation. And like, if you trust your government at this point, you're just not smart. What's going on right now is something that we should all be protesting. Genocides that are organized by our weapons, our leaders. But that's the underworld. That's a lot of how this operates is because the Archons designed it, and they've been murdering people to create their agenda the whole time. We all know that, but not many other organizations are willing to do that now, aside from the Mossad, aside from the CIA. So, Night 4 of the Galactic Underworld. Okay, that was November 29th, 2005 to November 23rd, 2006. Okay, and all these major events happening with America and Iraq, Iran, so George Bush. Like, it's crazy how much this book will tell you about why it's happening. Or, it gives you a lot of perspective on the astrological significance of the actions of another species on humanity, and what humanity's doing is really just reacting. That goes back to the Hegelic model, hypothesis, synthesis, thesis, antithesis, synthesis, problem, solution. Well, what this book goes into, which mystic Andrew Harvey said at Grace Cathedral in New York, humanity is now terminally ill and can only be transfigured by a totally shocking revelation of its shadow side. Okay, so we're seeing our shadow side, all right, the deep state and how they operate in the shadows. Like, there's now child trafficking, sex trafficking, slavery all over the world. If we keep allowing the systems to put more death and destruction in our face, they're going to say it's your own fault for not organizing some kind of fight. During the Galactic, it is best to think of the countries near the midline, Germany, France, Norway, Sweden, Italy, as a unit in the middle of intensely dualistic struggle between East and West. Countries close to the midline are often much less polarized. Many countries oppose America's 2003 invasion of Iraq, for instance, since the agenda of the Galactic is to unite the world's people and make peace possible. Countries near the midline are slated to be the initiators of peace from now through 2011. Okay, so they're trying to keep the peace. And if you look at how they are nowadays, the only country there that's protecting ugly motherfuckers is Sweden. Germany may have some evil left in them in power, but most of that is Sweden protecting the bankers. The policies that Sweden had is to protect the bankers, which is pathetic. But as long as America keeps doing what they're doing, America's the worst. America and Israel are the most deceptive and devious. And the guy from Mexico, I can't remember, it was one of the Spanish countries that just said the best words I've ever heard.